Quazi here. In today's video, I want to share with you the 4 things I did daily to manifest for the past 5 years. And in essence, my daily manifestation routine. By the end of this video, I'm not only going to share with you what those daily things are, I'm going to share with you how to use them for yourself in complete detail. So let's go right ahead and get started. As a disclaimer to this video, I want you to keep in mind throughout this whole video that we're not focusing on just another gimmicky technique or another meditation or another visualization to do. That's not what this channel is about. In this channel, what I talk to you about are the core principles that make manifestation, make reality creation, make goal achievement happen. So what you've got to understand always is that principles lead to techniques. Principles are greater than techniques. Principles are the why, which lead to the what. Once you understand why I'm doing something, then you can make techniques of yourself, right? So to give you an analogy of this, if a guy were talking to a girl that he's attracted to, he could use a pickup line, but he could say it monotonously, as opposed to having like great energy talking to the girl, right? Like I could say hi in many different ways. I can say, hi, my name is Quazi, or I could say, hi, my name is Quazi, right? So there's different energy to it. There's a different principle behind it. It's coming from a different source. So the core principle that we are focusing here, and I've always tried to focus on with these 4 daily things that I do, is understanding that the external world is influenced by my internal world. If I keep my internal world tidy, then I would put out the signal for my external world to form itself. So because of the quality of the external world, your visualizations don't come to life instantaneously, unless you're Jesus Christ and you have the intention of a Messiah, right? It takes a little bit of time. So you have to keep your internal world tidy in the correct state for long enough, okay? So that's what we're going to do with these 4 things that I do daily. So let's get to number 1. The most important thing, let's get started with that, I believe is daily meditation. Why is that? So I've been meditating for the past 6-7 years now. And what meditation has allowed me to do is become more grounded and centered. It's allowed me to become less reactive and more proactive. Why this is important for manifestation reality creation is most people are reactive to their circumstances. They see something bad happening, it influences their attitude. We don't want that. If you want to change your circumstances, you have to take the proactive step to changing your internal world first. Remember the mirror principle. Everything around us gets manifested in accordance with our internal image that we're forming. The reflection we see outside is all formed by the image that we form within. So meditation allows you to take a step back and ground yourself within yourself and then choose what you want. So I've been meditating for the past 6-7 years, and this is how I do it. I simply set an alarm for 15 minutes and I sit down comfortably, spine erect, and I just observe my breath. Don't try to change your breathing pattern. Just have your breath normal as you breathe and just watch and observe it. And I believe there's some unifying factor of the conscious and subconscious here, because breathing is a subconscious process, just like your heartbeat. And your conscious attention is more of the conscious mind. So when you use your conscious mind to watch your subconscious mind, you unify them, you make them one. So in that, there's also another reality creation benefit for you. So I do this every single morning, like right after I wake up. I wake up, take a cold shower, and then sit down for meditation for 15 minutes. And I just watch my breath in and out. And I just feel the sensations around my nose as I'm watching the breath. If you do this for 30 days, your life will completely change. But you have to stick to it. It can't just be, I'm going to meditate today, I'm not going to meditate tomorrow. My whole day gets ruined now. Like I notice it if I don't meditate. I'm not centered. Even if it's 10 minutes, start with even 5 minutes, whatever, however little, as long as you commit to it. And the longer you do it, the better. So that is number 1. Number 2, this is something you've never heard before. Freaky stuff. Hourly centering of attention. Hourly centering attention. Please forgive me for my handwriting. You won't be able to see this, but I'm sure someone will comment all of the 4 things that I mentioned, and I'll pin it. What does this mean? You might be wondering. I'll get to what it means, but it's essentially like a dynamic form of meditation. I'm centering myself every single hour dynamically. And it continues on to the benefits of meditation. Why I started doing this was because I found a lot of people who meditate, they don't know how to become meditative. Do you understand the difference? Like if I'm meditating, I'm just for those 15 minutes of my 12-hour waking day, that's it. That's all I'm doing. How can I carry those benefits into daily living? And this is what I do. Every single hour, I sort of get into that centered mode. And you can do this by setting an alarm or something, but every single hour, I center myself by asking 3 questions. And this is straight from our paid program, the Reality Mastery Program. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? And you get a complete realization of, I see myself and I see reality around me. And you kind of become aware. It's just meant to take you away from whatever it is you were doing and you got so lost in, and whatever it is you were thinking that you got so lost in. And there's just this moment of silence, this moment of space between you and everything else. And you become complete awareness at that very moment. And it's just enough for you to do this once every hour. And that's what I've been doing. Just do it once every hour and center yourself. The more you can do it, the better, obviously. But for me, just once an hour, and then I get back to whatever it is I was doing. This again allows you to become less reactive to whatever it is that's happening. Take a step back and center yourself and become more proactive. This brings me to the next thing that I do every single day, and this is visualization. Now, I don't think there's any other technique like visualization out there that's so powerful in reality creation. Because with visualization, you're literally crafting a picture and you're feeling what you would feel once you're there. So when you get the mind and the heart on board, it's kind of like getting the subconscious and the conscious mind on board. When these two are together, when there's a unifying factor in both of these, you activate this powerful force called outer intention that moves you towards your goals much faster than you could imagine. Okay, much faster than just taking physical action. How I visualize is simply after I've centered myself, I just think of a picture. This could be something that I want to achieve in the next task. Let's say you're working on a project in your business and you visualize what you would like to achieve, what outcome you'd like to achieve in this project. Oh, you visualize this project going very well, it's leading to the results that you've wanted to see, it's turning out very well, and it makes you feel really good. So the key thing is you have a picture of what it is you're doing, where it is you're doing it, your environment, who it is you're being as you're doing it. Again, we're focusing on the identity, the internal world. Remember the mirror principle? We're focusing on who I am becoming and being. And you're focusing on the feeling, those 4 things. So focus on what am I doing, what activity, where am I, what's the environment, who am I being as I'm doing it, what's this ideal self, who am I being as this activity is being conducted, and how do I feel, what's the feeling? And you completely immerse yourself in that picture. So you can do this every hour, like I've suggested, and it doesn't have to be like a 10-minute meditation, right? That's what people think when they think about visualization. Like you have to sit down for 10 minutes and, all right, I'm visualizing now. No, it could be as little as a minute. You just look at that picture. You just keep bringing that picture up. You keep feeling that picture. You feel that picture in your bones. I also recommend doing maybe a longer form right before you fall asleep. And I learned this from Neville Goddard, the law of assumption. He talks about as you fall asleep, picture your goal and everything being manifested. Assume that it's already done and feel those feelings as you drift off into bed. The powerful thing that does is it aligns your subconscious mind. Like when you're about to fall asleep, your subconscious mind is the most moldable. And the first thing in the morning when you wake up, your subconscious mind is the most moldable. So you could do it every hour throughout the day and before you fall asleep and first thing in the morning. It kind of sets you off right in the day. So that's what I've been doing as well. That's number 3. And number 4, last but not least, I guarantee you haven't heard this before. Oneness. Getting a feeling of oneness. So remember I talked about outer intention and how powerful it is, right? The essence behind outer intention is this intention belongs to you, but it also belongs to the world. It's the thing that keeps this whole universe in balance. This feeling of oneness, what it does is it connects you to this outer intention. And how I like to feel it is essentially, right now you can feel the boundary of your body. Just take a moment and just feel this boundary of your body. I am me, and that is the world. But now what if I expanded the boundary of my body into a sphere that's around the body? Now what if this sphere gets larger and larger so as to include all of these objects around me? This camera around me is becoming one with me. The plant around me is becoming one with me. And I keep expanding this sphere until I try to keep everything one with me. And it kind of gives you this overwhelming sense of peace. You know, like you almost become one with your environment and you become one with this world around you, which I think is just so absolutely powerful. This is like a lot more effective in social situations too. If you're speaking to someone or a group of people, try to encapsulate them in this sphere as though you were all one. That way your message gets to them a lot more effectively. Especially if you're in business and you have sales conversations, or maybe you're talking to your boss, or whatever it may be. Just feel like you've become one with this person. They're in this sphere with you. I learned this from reading this golf book. It's called Golf in the Kingdom by Michael Murphy. He talks about how like when you're doing the swing and you want to get to the hole, imagine you have a sphere around your body. Include the club, the ball, and the whole field that you're playing in. The flagstick, everything. Part of that sphere. You keep expanding that sphere until you all become one, and allows you to play better golf. It's like this is all part of the subtle body that we have. That's number 4. And last but not least, what I want you to do is go ahead and watch this video right here. Okay, I'm going to put it right here on the law of identity. I just recently made this, and this very effectively covers everything that we talked about, but focuses on this principle. Because remember, the most important thing you can do is become this ideal self. Because remember, everything that we have comes from what we do, but what we do is influenced by who we are. If we can focus at that being, that identity level, and form ourselves into the ideal self first, then the doing and the having take care of themselves. We're literally getting to the crux of reality creation. This is why I focus on identity shifting so much. So go ahead and watch this video right now, and it will go into complete detail about the law of identity and how it's allowed me to become a millionaire within the first 5 years of running my business. So go watch it right now. I'll see you in the next one right now. Thanks.